Welcome back to Better Preparedness. It is a chilly -20 with the wind chill this morning here in Ottawa, Canada, and this is to talk to you about ice thickness.
If all you were looking for was a graph with a few numbers, well, here you go. But keep in mind this is new, clear, hard ice, and that's a very specific type of ice. And well, there's a lot to learn on ice, so stick around.
One of the wonderful things about winter in Canada is that bodies of water, especially still salt-free water, so most freshwater lakes, freeze over. And in due course, you can walk, skate, drive your car, drive a heavy truck onto these things. But the big question is, when is it safe? Well, that is a super tricky question. And there's always these estimates. Okay, how many inches? Because often ice thickness is referred to in inches. 3 inches is deemed really not really safe enough for people to walk on. But there's so many variables that go into ice thickness safety. It depends on, is it a person? Is it someone on foot, on skates, on skis, on snowshoes with spikes? So many variables come into play. And right now we're in the most dangerous time of the year. Well, now in springtime, because it has been extremely mild this year so far, and through all of November. This was open water only about a week ago. Now we've had a bit of a flash freeze. There's not a lot of snow accumulation, so that's good. But this ice is extremely dangerous right now. It's only been frozen, and you can see, if I was to walk there, I would probably fall in. I would probably go through. Now it's not too deep, but as soon as you get past a certain depth, you just simply cannot get out of that. And there's ways you can make it safer, which is wait. There's never a guaranteed safe time to go on ice. There are times where it's safer, and if you go into sort of third week of January, a lot of surfaces are safe. But if there's movement, say in a river, if there's flow, if there's a stream, stay away from that. If there's a beaver lodge, stay away from that. All those things contribute to weakening of the ice, and you get these up and down freeze-thaw cycles of the winters, and that changes things a lot too. An ice auger, which is like a giant drill, either human-powered or gas-powered, is a good way of drilling a hole, a test hole. But I'm a huge believer, wear a life jacket, maybe have a winter jacket that's thick enough to allow you to wear a life jacket. Even throw rope, like a throw bag for canoeists and kayakers. If each person has one of those and somebody does go through, snowmobilers are often and ATVs, they venture across frozen lakes. Well, the problem is eventually you find a weakness, and all that weight, all that gear, and even the weight of all this extra winter clothing that we have means you can also overwhelm a life jacket. But a life jacket underneath your gear is a heck of a lot better than no life jacket. If you break through, water gets onto the top of the surface, and then you can't grip. So something with spikes and grips to have the means, but you need to get your feet up and then slide yourself onto the ice. But the problem is, if you're wearing a life jacket, you might be boot heavy, so your feet are sticking way down. Be extremely careful. If there's a late freeze and an early thaw, you're into these very, very danger periods. Just because it's safe here doesn't mean it's safe there. So you can do a couple test holes with an auger, but just be on the safe side. Every year, quite a few people die, especially snowmobilers who venture too far out. But if you go out onto this ice, you would break through, and well, you'll drown and sink to the bottom. And then you'll force first responders and dive teams to unfortunately go fetch you, which is a pretty awful job. If you're a dive team with usually the police, would have to send someone through the ice and then try to find you. And that's an awful, horrible, traumatizing thing for first responders. So be safe. In the shoulder seasons, like right now, stay off the ice. In central Canada, it's been a very late freeze up, as we call it. And we're probably looking at only being safe once we get into about mid-January. It'll be really safe. It's going to depend also on the layer of snow on these bodies of water. Like this is only a centimeter of snow right now. So what it means is that the -20 air temperature can also freeze through and freeze the ice faster, because the ice freezes at the top. Now what you're counting on is the water underneath freezing, attaching itself to that layer, because ice doesn't build up onto the top. it builds up from underneath. So you're having to have that cold temperature go through the ice and freeze the layer of water under it. But even here you can see there's cracks, and the ice is always changing, it's always moving, and that makes for a very dangerous situation. So play it safe. I'll put some thicknesses down below.
If you remember that earlier chart which said clear new hard ice, well, this is from the Alberta Conservation Association, which talks about clear good quality ice. Now the big difference between the qualities of ice is that clear or blue ice is often considered the strongest. White or opaque snowy ice is about half as strong, and gray ice is considered really weak because it has water, potentially, layers of water. So there's really an importance to looking at the ice, and when you're doing your test holes is to make sure you take a look. Is it clear ice? Because that's probably a good sign for the ice around it, but you never know. This is the importance of test holes and making sure you really analyze the ice before you go on it.
Make sure you check out betterpreparedness.com. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Click that like and click that subscribe button. Keep safe, stay off the ice for a while, and then go enjoy yourself and play some hockey. Take care. Bye.